We are up to the fourth set in the alphabetically inclined Classic Collection monster set from WizKids. The set features minis that are based on the most iconic monsters from the very first monster manual. Since the minis are based on the art from that original book, they sometimes look pretty different from the monsters that we're used to in 5th edition. But I think on the whole, WizKids has done a great job of making the minis look like they belong on our table along with our regular minis. And they've generally been pretty great representations of those classic monsters. This week we have monsters K through N from Kobold to Naga, and many thanks to WizKids for sending them our way. So let's jump right in and see what we have in store in D&D Classic Collection Monsters K through N. This video is brought to you by Hit Point Press. Are you ready to introduce a whole new style of dragon to your 5e campaigns? The Field Guide to Floral Dragons is a lushly illustrated hardcover book with 26 brand new floral dragons, plus pests, pollinators, and fungi, not to mention new magic items and poisons, all with rich lore, biology, habitats, stat blocks, and story hooks. From the tiny-sized, plane-hopping dandelion dragon, to the haughty and toxic larkspur dragon, to the kind-hearted avuncular apple tree dragon. You'll be able to get the book plus reference cards, minis, and more in the Kickstarter launching on April 2nd, 2024. But if you sign up now, you can get a free Vespin Spin Pen D6 with your pledge. Use our links in the corner or down below to sign up. And check out the Field Guide to Floral Dragons on Kickstarter in April. So this time I'm going to give you information straight from the 1st edition Monster Manual, though I'm still going to be giving you their 5e stats and where you can find them in the sidebar over there. You may notice a few changes from 5e. Kobolds are lawful evil tribal creatures often found in overgrown forests or underground. They hate the sunlight, but they have eyesight well suited to the darkness. They're hateful little things with a particular distaste for fey creatures. Liches were formerly extremely powerful magic users, or even clerics. While they don't look significantly different from your run-of-the-mill wight or mummy, they are very powerful, neutral evil creatures who cause most folks to immediately flee in panic. They're immune to all sorts of magical attacks, and have a super genius level of intellect. Lizardfolk, or lizardmen as they're called in 1e, are neutrally aligned, semi-aquatic tribal humanoids who are omnivorous. But like a lot of creatures in D&D, they have a particular favorite food. It's not mine, which is Japanese curry. No, their favorite food, and you can say it along with me, is human flesh. And here is our relatively squat Mind Flayer, subterraneous genius-level psionic brain-eating creatures who consider humanoids to be cattle to feed upon. They have the ability to levitate, dominate, and astrally project themselves. And now I want to share with you an image from the original Monster Manual of a Mind Flayer attack upon an unsuspecting group of adventurers. This is not for the weak of heart, so if you are sensitive to violent images, you may want to close your eyes for the next few seconds. Fair warning, image coming up in 3, 2, 1. If you do have nightmares tonight, don't say I didn't warn you. Next up is the Minotaur, chaotic evil, low intelligence creatures who love to eat, checking my notes, human flesh. While they aren't going to get on Jeopardy anytime soon, they have very keen senses and tracking abilities, so if one is on your tail, you're probably going to have to fight it at some point. Merfolk, or mermen as they're called in 1e, are neutrally aligned undersea fish herders, who will occasionally attempt to raid surface vessels traveling over their territory. They have tamed barracudas that they use for community defense. On the plus side, there is no mention of their dietary preference for human flesh. Mummies, on the other hand, just want to destroy all living things. Their touch can impart a rotting disease that, if left untreated, will be fatal in 1 to 6 months. They can only be harmed by magical weapons and box office failures, though if you cast Raise Dead on a mummy, it'll spring back to normal human life. This particular mini with its own coffin is the most unique one in the set by far. Finally, we have the Naga, and let me just say that it takes a good artist for me to take a human head on a snake body seriously, and this design doesn't really do it for me. Nagas come in several different varieties, from the wise and good guardian Nagas to the extremely evil spirit Nagas to the curious but neutral water Nagas. Ultimately, it's another solid collection of minis, a good mix of high-level and low-level creatures. The Lizardfolk, the Merfolk, and the Kobold will fit right in with your existing warbands, and the Minotaur, the Lich, and the Mind Flayer can all make good high-level villains for your adventures. I think folks are either going to love or hate the Mummy with its coffin, but I'm all in for WizKids doing something a little bit different, especially when we already have a fair share of Mummy minis. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got an Undead Armies Mummy set at some point. And while I'm not a huge fan of the Naga design, it's perfectly functional, it's fine. Now, what we have left out from the letters K through N are a couple of interesting minis. First of all, we don't have a Mimic. That's kind of shocking to me. We're also missing out on a Medusa, a Manticore, a Lukatha, a Lamia, a Lamasu, and a Kyren. Kyren? I don't know. But those are all missing from this set. So let me know what you think of this. The D&D Classic Collection Monsters K through N is available now for between $80 and $90. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know if these are the minis that you would have selected from those letter choices. The next box is Monsters O through R, and it'll have an Odiug, an Owlbear, a Pseudo-Dragon, a Quasit, a Rakshasa, a Remoraz, a Roper, and a Rust Monster. That sounds pretty good to me. And based on the preview images I've seen, they're looking pretty great. Get a load of this Rakshasa. We'll have to see about those hands, though. We are expecting this set in Q3 2024. Be sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss anything, and leave me a like down below to help us out with the algorithm if you wouldn't mind. You can go pre-register for the Floral Dragons campaign from Hit Point Press to secure yourself that spinning D6B mini, and you can come follow us on social media at one of the sites over here for all the latest news. Until next time, though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.